爆発させる溶けた氷の中に恐竜がいたら玉乗りしこみたいね
He needs some milk.
What's going on, everyone? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Now, yesterday we did see Bitcoin falling out of that ascending triangle, but what we have noticed today so far is that you can see right here, and right here, Bitcoin is in fact holding the support, right? You could say that this was a bit of a fake out and these little wicks up here were fake outs. And basically what we're doing is just bouncing in this range that we've been in for quite some time, right? And what's also kind of interesting about the fact that Bitcoin is attempting to not break out, but have a bounce right here. We saw a lot of volume right here on the sell candle, but it looks like we're attempting to have an equal amount of buy, right? So it's almost like this area is being defended by the bulls. Now, this is at a time where you can see right here, we are having the stocks having a big sell-off, and the DXY is looking to actually attempt to break out of this downwards channel. It might get rejected again, we don't know, but very, very interesting times. Now, if you don't know this, the end of every month, we do have the options expiring, right? And sometimes we do tend to see a little bit of selling into the last Friday of the month. So not only is this the last Friday of the month, it's also the last Friday of the year, which is approaching, right? And we do know that some people do like to get, you know, some of that tax loss harvesting, right? They sell and it kind of offsets their capital gains. So that is a possibility of what we could be seeing right now. But what I wanted to talk about, how, first of all, on some days, I feel like there's no news, there's nothing to talk about. Today, there's crazy things to talk about. So number one, we actually have Alameda looking like they're still selling some coins right now, and they're selling them into Bitcoin. So Alameda Research is accumulating Bitcoin right now. That's extremely crazy. We also have QuadrigaCX. Yes, Jerry Cotton. You guys remember that Netflix documentary? Apparently, 100 Bitcoin has now moved from these wallets, which is really confusing, right? Considered that this is the defunct exchange. On top of that, we also have Michael Saylor selling some Bitcoin for the first time ever, right? I'll talk about what that's all about. And finally, we have the former president of Russia coming out with some crazy predictions for what could happen in the next year. And one of them does in fact include the adoption of digital currencies. So lots of crazy stuff to talk about today, guys. And before we move on, I just wanted to, and I usually don't ask my subscribers, you know, to like do anything like this, but I'm really trying to get up to 1,000 followers on TikTok, because as soon as you get 1,000, then you can add links. I'm a very, very new to this. I just started posting like not too long ago. So if you guys want to follow me on TikTok, it's Crypto Zombie. Like I said, I'm just trying to get up to 1,000. I know I don't have a lot of followers. I don't have a lot of followers on Instagram either. If you guys want to follow me, the official one is the.crypto.zombie. And I do post things over here that I don't post over on YouTube or Twitter. So if you're interested and you want that, check me out. It's the.cryptozombie or just Crypto Zombie on TikTok. I'd appreciate it so I can start posting some links over there. Okay, guys, that's it. Enough begging my subscribers for follows. You know I don't usually do that. I want to get my account official so I can, you know, start utilizing more of the features. So that being said, if you guys also want to get subscribed to Crypto Zombie, thank you so much. I am done rambling. Let's talk about what's going on here in the chart. So as you guys can see clearly, we have fallen out of this. Now, I looked at this and I was seeing this as an ascending triangle, potentially formation, but ultimately we did lose that. So what does it mean? Well, it doesn't really mean much of anything. It ultimately just means that we are still forming this flag pattern right here. You know, you can even bring it all the way up to around the $16,900 level if you want. And, you know, really all we're doing is ultimately bouncing around in this area. A little bit of fake outs to the bottom, a little bit of fake outs to the top, but that's really all we're doing. Now, if you were looking to long potentially, this is the area to be putting in the long. Obviously, that long would be invalidated below 16,441, because then we would be heading down again to that wick low at around $16,261. You could see we have fallen below the heart line. We did attempt to come up and test it. A little bit bearish, right? This is on the daily, so obviously the bigger time frames matter more than the smaller time frames, but nevertheless, this does risk the potential if we do continue, of coming back down, like I said, to those range lows around 16.2, which would still keep us on the upward sloping trend. It would technically still be putting in a higher low at this point. Obviously, losing that risks us falling down to the the swing low at around $15,640. And ultimately, we are coming to the end. So as I said, guys, we may not see a lot of volatility into the end of the year, but within the next 3 weeks, we're going to see a massive move for Bitcoin. So obviously, if you are looking to trade this, breaking and holding above this center line around 16,730, that would give you a target of 17,400 potentially with a 4% gain. So, if you're using like 3x leverage, 3 times 4, 12%, not too bad for a daily move. If you guys want to learn how to trade though, make sure that you watch my tutorial above. I actually learned most of my trading in the previous bear market. That's where I actually honed my skills so that once you do get into the next bull, it'll be so easy. It's so easy to trade bull markets, guys. It's ridiculous. You basically just long the dips, literally. But like I said, I do like to practice in the bear market. So if you do want to, check that out, links below. But like Trader Tardigrade pointed out, if you actually just look at the linear Bitcoin chart, which does look kind of crazy, he does point out that we are in this extreme long-term accumulation band. So he's basically saying that the level that we're at right now is the equivalent of, 9 cents in 2010 and $3,800 in 2020. So ultimately, like I've been pointing out, we are in a good accumulation area. And, of course, this time, is different. But, as T Analyst points out, we are seeing the stochastic RSI in very traditional bottoming areas. And you can see that the majority of the bear market tends to take place in about roughly 365 days. I think the actual number is closer to 400, but basically a year, give or take. And, if you have a look at where we are right now, that's pretty much where we are from top to where we are right now. We're about 413 days in. So we're actually over a year, which would be one of the longest, I believe. What was this bear market right here? I mean, if you go to the actual bottom, about 427 days. The actual bottom of this one was 365 days, right? So yeah, we're definitely in that area where we should be looking to bottom out. And if we have a look at this right here, the one thing that we need to do is get above, you see this green line right here, this is the 21 exponential. And you can see, like, for example, right here, once we popped above it, boom, right here, same thing, boom, massive. Of course, you have your fake outs here and there, but generally after a major downtrend, once you do reclaim that level. But looking at the 200 weekly, obviously, we've talked about, these diminishing returns, longer lags, and you do have us, bottoming at the 200, then the 300. So maybe this time we're going to bottom at the 400, which does coincide perfectly with the monthly close of 2017 at around 13,800. That would be like my ultimate low for Bitcoin. I don't think we'd go much lower than that. And I also don't think we'd stay there very long. I think we would see, one of these types of wicks like this, where we just kind of come down and then boom, that's it. Something, kind of like this. Or even like the COVID crash is like the most memorable, boom, up. I think we would see something like that. So if you're really waiting on the sidelines, like trying to catch these lower prices, not financial advice, it's probably going to be very quick and you're probably not going to have a lot of time to really catch that bottom, right? So that's basically that. Now, I wanted to talk about Alameda. So Ergo BTC, which I highly suggest you go follow, super awesome analysis. So it looks like Alameda's ETH addresses are digging around in the sofa for spare change and swapping BITS ERC20s for ETH USD. ETH and USD then funneled through instant changers. And like Zach XBT also pointed out, the funds are being swapped for Bitcoin. So Alameda is selling the last remains of their shitcoin dust and buying Bitcoin with it. Why are they buying Bitcoin? Well, let's be honest. Most people, usually after being around the block for a few cycles, end up loading up on Bitcoin. I do remember when I first got into crypto, I was all like, oh, Bitcoin, it's just this slow dinosaur tech. Who would ever want to buy that? And then the more you learn, you go through a cycle, you realize that unfortunately 99.9% of all these coins are shit. And really, you just kind of get in and out of them speculatively to just kind of make money. And by the way, I've always been very transparent about that. I've always told people on this channel, I don't marry altcoins. My goal is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. But, at least I'm transparent about that, right? Everyone else, they have their own, you have your own opinions. Maybe you want to accumulate dollars. Maybe you want to accumulate Ethereum or Chainlink, I don't know, or whatever, Solana, maybe, I doubt it. But breaking, the SEC counsel Berkowitz, CFTC resigns after being found to have accepted bribes from Sam Alameda. So yes, this guy Berkowitz, apparently he was having dinner with them. I don't know the full story. I think BitBoy was breaking some of this recently, but yeah, it just goes to show you SEC, Gary Gensler, the whole crew, very shady. Yeah, so just, you know, it's just a mess right now, everything that's going on. And something else that was really crazy was, do you guys remember this documentary, Trust No One? So this is Jerry Cotton. They think he faked his own death or he ran off with the funds. It's this crazy conspiracy. So there was like $250 million that was stolen or lost. And if you come over here, it appears that more than 100 Bitcoin tied to the defunct Canadian crypto exchange QuadrigaCX were actually transferred out of cold wallets, thought to be beyond anyone's control over the weekend, after sitting dormant for more than 3 years. The company's bankruptcy trustee, Ernst & Young, did not initiate the transfers. So this is the thing about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, is we can see these things on the blockchain. What is going on? Who has access to this? Did they make this too soon? Was this documentary made way too soon? Because is Jerry alive? So Ernst & Young, which is acting as the trustee for Quadriga's estate, announced in February that it lost control of about 100 Bitcoin after mistakenly sending the coins to Quadriga-operated cold wallets that the Big Four financial firm service said it could not access. The Bitcoin in this address remained frozen until Friday, when the coins in all 5 addresses left between 5:52 and 7:14 p.m. They say nearly 70 of the Bitcoin appear to have gone to Wasabi, which is a coin mixing service. So here's the thing. If Ernst & Young is lying, okay, that would be crazy, first of all, because they're sending it to a mixing service. So why would a well-established financial service institution want to use a crypto mixing service whose primary purpose was to obfuscate the source of the destination of funds? So very, very interesting. Is it the dead CEO back from the grave? Is Ernst & Young not telling us something? And it definitely is shady regardless of how you analyze it, because they sent it to a mixing service. They didn't send it to just some regular exchange. So something funky is going on in the background right now. Just pointing that out. So we finally have Michael Saylor selling Bitcoin for the first time since they started buying. However, it's not as bad as you think. In fact, they added more Bitcoin to their stockpile from November 1st to December 21st. So they purchased approximately 2,395 for $42.8 million. So what's up with the Bitcoin they sold? Well, on December 22nd, they sold 704 Bitcoin for $11.8 million on the premise that the loss will offset previous capital gains. So they were just doing it for tax purposes, because 2 days later, they bought 810 Bitcoin for $13.6 million. So they sold 704, and then 2 days later, they bought even more, 810. But this is the first time that they've ever sold any cryptocurrency since they started buying in 2020. So yeah, it's a little bit of a clickbaity type thing. They did sell, but our buddy Michael Saylor, he is continuing to buy. So that is good to hear. We also have the Proton Mail CEO, Andy Yang, saying that he's unsure if he wants to hold Bitcoin. They usually keep Bitcoin in their company's reserves, but he said there's an internal debate. I don't have the answer yet. I'm not sure if we continue to hold Bitcoin or not. He also described the sentiment on Bitcoin, expressing crazy concerns over fraud, scams, short-lived fads, NFT bubbles, ICO craze, etc. SBF, we know, all these things. He says people are not going to have faith and confidence and trust in an asset class if it is frequently having 80% crash cycles. We need that crash cycle to be less and less severe over time, and that's just not what's happening. However, he does say that despite all of this, they will continue to accept Bitcoin for their services, and the company's in the process of adding Lightning Network payments, so they just don't know if they want to hold it on their balance sheet. Again, not sure. Are they trying to FUD it? Are they trying to buy cheap? Who knows? One company, though, that is in a little bit of issue right now is Gemini. The Winklevoss twins are facing a potential class action from investors. They were affiliated with Genesis, and that was where they were doing their earn products from, and it wasn't 100% clearly disclosed. So they said the products should have been registered as securities, so investors could have received disclosures that would have let them better assess the risks. Gemini marketed GIAs with repeated false and misleading statements, including that GIAs were a secure method of collecting interest. So yeah, that you got to be more clear. And these guys have a bit license, so that was a little bit shocking to me. Now, getting on to Dmitry Medvedev. Now, he was the former president of Russia. He had this crazy prediction over here. I'm just going to read you some of the things that he is predicting that can happen in 2023. He says oil prices will rise to $150 a barrel, and gas price will top $5 per cubic meter. The UK will rejoin the EU. The EU will collapse after the UK's return. Euro will drop out of use as the former EU currency. Poland and Hungary will occupy western regions of the formerly existing Ukraine. The Fourth Reich will be created, encompassing the territory of Germany and its satellites, Poland, Baltic states, etc. War will break out between France and the Fourth Reich. Europe will be divided, Poland repartitioned in the process. Northern Ireland will separate from the UK and join the Republic of Ireland. By the way, these are all things he's saying that could possibly happen next year. Civil war will break out in the US. California and Texas become independent states as a result. Texas and Mexico will form an allied state. Elon Musk will win the presidential election in a number of states, which after the new civil wars end will have been given to the GOP. All the largest stock markets and financial activity will leave the US and Europe and move to Asia. And the Bretton Woods system of monetary management will collapse, leading to the IMF and World Bank's crash. Euro and dollar will stop circulating as the global reserve currency. Digital fiat currencies will be actively used instead. Now, Justin Sun came out and said, I'm impressed by this insightful comment on cryptocurrency. He rightly points out that it has the potential to revolutionize the global reserve currency. Well said. But he did say digital fiat currencies. Elon Musk actually reported to this and said this has to be one of the craziest, where is it? He said epic thread. And then he said, those are definitely the most absurd predictions I've ever heard, while also showing astonishing lack of awareness of the progress of artificial intelligence and sustainable energy. So that was crazy though. But yeah, I think when he was talking about digital currencies, he says clearly right here, digital fiat currencies. So I'm not 100% sure that he was talking about Bitcoin, but it is crazy thinking about what he said about China, because we know that China has banned Bitcoin mining, and I'm pretty sure cryptocurrencies, I mean, let me know if I'm wrong, they're not very friendly in China over crypto. Is crypto like fully banned? I know Bitcoin mining is banned, but Justin Sun says, I'm incredibly optimistic about the future of the Chinese economy. The reopening of borders and the strength of the economy are both positive indicators for the future. With the increasing adoption of cryptocurrency in China, the best is yet to come. So very interesting. And one thing I wanted to point out, and I wanted to leave on this Reddit post over here by ST Dancy or whatever their name is. So let me know what you guys think about this. He says, if you asked me in the summer what would happen if FTX would collapse, I would have said that it would have been the death of crypto. But here we are, project after project is collapsing, FTX included, and Bitcoin price is still holding over 15K. Many crypto prices fell more than 80% from all-time high, but still for some of that, the price is higher than it was during 2019 to 2021. This tells a lot about the whole space, not only about those. The total market cap is still at levels of 2018 all-time high. I think this mess is a part of how the adoption is happening, and it was inevitable. Bad projects fail, gamblers lose, uninformed lose, smart people win. This happens anyway all the time in life, right? And, you know, actually, if you guys are following me over on Twitter, I do suggest you guys follow me. You know, I had actually posted something very similar. This is what I said over here. I said, unless we have another major black swan like Genesis, Digital Currency Group, Grayscale, Bitcoin, etc., I believe that the majority of selling for Bitcoin is over. The tourists have left, weekends have sold, over-leveraged players liquidated, Bitcoin miners bankrupt, and bad actors flushed out. And also, I wrote, when I hear people say that more pain is needed because there's still too much optimism, I don't think they understand that most Bitcoin holders they don't understand most Bitcoin hodlers' mentality. There's no amount of percentage loss, FUD, or criticism that will ever cause a true Bitcoin believer or advocate to capitulate, right? Because we understand the long-term value and use case of Bitcoin. So if you want, hardcore Bitcoiners to capitulate, you're probably not going to get that because we just won't do it. I mean, we're crazy. We're psychotic, masochistic, maybe in a sense. We want to keep... They say, do Bitcoiners love pain? I don't know. I mean, this is my third bear market, and I mean, it's not fun going through. But I'm super excited about buying Bitcoin at prices that I haven't been able to in 4 years. So yeah, I think this is pretty awesome. So that being said, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Again, I know TikTok is, the Gen Z place to be. I'm trying to get my stuff out there. I gotta say, TikTok is wild. Like, okay, so I have 783 followers, but look at these videos. Like, so this one over here got 558. This one got 23.3K. This one got 500, and this one got 5,000. It's really random, but yeah, it is a little bit addicting if you guys want. And then, of course, if you want to check out my Instagram, the.crypto.zombie. Also, ledger stacks. Get that if you guys haven't. Keep your crypto safe. And, of course, if you do want to learn how to trade, check the tutorial in the description, and all the other links are down there as well. And you can get up to an extra $18,000 bonus if you guys are trading on BitGet, which is where I personally suggest trading. So, of course, once again, final thoughts right here. We are just kind of, I mean, it's really been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, almost 2 straight months of pure sideways action. This is the least amount of volatility that we've seen in the Bitcoin chart pretty much in a long time. Long time. And this is what usually happens. They want to bore you out of the market, right? This is where the most money is made, right? Is accumulating at these levels when everyone else has walked away. Everyone is scared. They don't want to touch it. Jim Cramer's freaking out, right? And yeah, so that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I make these videos. I am not 100% sure if I can make a video tomorrow. I'm going to be traveling a little bit. I'm going to try to make a video, though. I might make it from a hotel room or something like that. But if I don't, like I said, go follow me on all my other platforms, Twitter and all that, and I'm sure I'll get some kind of post out from there and keep you guys up to date. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I make these videos. Make sure that you check out this video popping up right here, right now. Until next time, stay crypto, and of course, peace out.